Hi guys, and welcome to another Elementor video tutorial. This is Jamie from System22 and webdesigntechtips.com. Well, in our last video we put together this little pop-out email form. It's sticky, so it stays exactly where it is when you roll up and down the site. We're going to continue that theme with a little pop-up info box. And it sort of stays on the bottom, that little question mark right there. When you hover over it, it's going to pop up like that. And again, it's sticky, so it's going to stay exactly where it is when you scroll up and down the site. Real easy to do. We're going to use a bit of custom CSS, but don't let that put you off. Any CSS I write today, I'll put below the video, and you're welcome to use it if you need to. So let's get rid of this page. Go to a page that doesn't have that on it. Here's one, and let's go to my customizer where I actually write the CSS. And I'm going to delete that CSS that I wrote for the pop-up just now. Let's publish our changes. To get to the customizer, it's in your dashboard and its appearance, and then customize. Okay, well, let's edit this with Elementor and get started. Okay, the first thing I'm going to do is go down to the bottom and create a new section. A little red button there, new section. I want to have one row, one column. Inside here, I'm going to put an icon widget. So let's go to our little matrix here, go down and find one. I think this is available in the free one as well as the pro one. In fact, I know it is, I've used it before. Okay, so this is going to be the basis of our pop-up info module. You can put any sort of module here that you want. I'm using this one because I want to use the icon as the handle. So let's say questions. And I really don't have any questions, so I'm just going to copy this lorem ipsum right here a couple of times so we've got some content for it. Perhaps change the first word or something like that. There we are. So we've got our little section there. Okay, next thing I want to do is I want to change that icon to a question mark. You're going to need to find something appropriate for you, obviously. So let's go to the icon library. Now let's put in question mark. There we go, and that one's absolutely fine. Okay, so there we have it. So content wise, that's just about everything I want on my site here. So let's manipulate it now the way we want to. And to do that, we're going to use a bit of custom CSS. Let's update. And let's go to preview changes. I'm using Google Chrome here with the Chrome Inspector tools. Let's go down to our section. So I can write the CSS in here and try it out before I write it into the theme. I'm going to right click on a blank section of the section right here. And that'll bring up the inspector when I hit inspect. And here it is. What I'm going to do is I want to give this section a class so we can target it. At the moment it's got some classes of its own. We can add another one so we can make sure we're just working on this section and not all of them. So let's go back to our page here. Let's go to our section tab right here. And let's go to the advanced tab. I'm going to give it a class. I'll give it the class of Q for questions, B for bottom. That's fine. Let's update. Now if we go back to our page, we can hit the preview changes button again, take us back to our page. Let's go make sure we got the right selection. We already have. There's our section again, and now it's got the class of QB in there, so we can target that when we need to. Right, let's just reduce this a little bit, go down to where I want to work. And what do we want to do with this section? First thing I want to do is make it a lot smaller, so I'm going to give it a fixed width. So I'm going to say width, say 350 pixels. I know that'll work on mobile phones that way. So as you can see, it's squashed up to this side here. Now I've got to give it a position fixed so it's going to actually stay in place. You may see it disappear when I do this. Position fixed until we tell it where we want it to be. And I want it to be on the bottom, so that will be bottom 0. And I want it sort of right in the middle, really. So let's say from the left, let's give it 45% and see what that does. 45%. That's kind of brought it to the middle, but see that send message, the white underneath, that's actually in the middle. So we're a little too far. So I'm going to select my 45% and roll down a little bit with my mouse. 44, 43, 42. I think that's about right. 41. That's about in the middle there. You can see that. So that's okay. So let's write this into our custom CSS. Remember we gave it that class of QS. So we need to say .qs and add this to it. Or QB, wasn't it? Questions bottom. Control C to copy that. Let's go back to our customizer. And I'll put in a title, // and whatever title. Now, the class that we gave that section was QB for questions bottom, wasn't it? QB. So I want to open and close some curly brackets. And within those curly brackets, let's paste that code we copied from the browser. There we go. So that should have made it permanent once I hit this publish button. Whereas with the Chrome Inspector, once we refresh the page, this will all disappear. So that should stay where it is when I refresh the page. That's fine. Okay, well I want to give it a background color, and I'm going to change that text color in a moment. But I don't want to give the whole section a background color because that's going to be too much. So I think we can just give the widget icon box a bit of color. So if we look down a little bit here, or rather, let's just select this title, see what we've got here. See the icon box content, when we highlight, that's kind of the area that I'd like to give it some background color. So I'm going to copy that. I'm double left clicking, which will let us copy the elementor-icon-box-content. Because it's a class, we need to put a dot in front of it. So let's go back to our customizer. It's a dot, and let's paste that in there. Control V, and open and close some curly brackets. Put a bit of space between them. Go back, and what do we want to do to it now? Let's give it a background color of a sort of dark gray. Which was #444 is a dark gray that I've used before. That's fine. Font color we can change inside the module itself, so I don't want to mess with that right now. I do want to give it a bit of padding, so let's get a semicolon. Let's give it a bit of padding all around, say 15 pixels. So padding. There we go, that gives it a bit of space, top, bottom, left and right. Actually, let's do this. Let's do 0 on the top, because we can do them all individually. I'm going to say 0. Next one I'll give 15 pixels, which will be the right one. And then let's give 30 pixels to the bottom. and it's all automatically giving it 15 on the left as well, so that's going to work fine. That's absolutely fine, because when I put that 15 at the top, it just put too much space there. Great, so that's exactly what I want. Let's put that in, make it permanent. Let's give it a little border as well, shall we? Just to make it stand out a little bit more. So let's just give it a border. And we'll say 1 pixel, solid. Let's make it white, FFF. There we go, it's got a little border around it now, so just stand out that little bit more, especially when you scroll up and down. That's great. Well, let's write this into our customizer. We've already put the class in there. Just tidy that up. Let's publish this. Go back and refresh. And that should stay exactly the same. Fantastic. Great. So we want to change the text color to white and this to white. And I think I need to put a background on this to make it stand out if we're going to make it white. So let's just go back to the page, go back to the module itself. Now we can go to style. We've got the icon. Here's the color. I'm going to make it white. Can't really see it against this background, but we've not got the latest version here. Okay, so we've got the icon and the content, both the title and the content description. I'm going to make those white too. Let's update that. Preview our changes. There we go, that's white now. Now the only other thing I want to do to make this stand out a bit more is I think I need to put a background behind there, because when we rolls over something white, you're going to pretty much lose it. You can see it slightly, but I think if we give it a dark background, it'll make it a lot easier. So let's inspect this, and we know it's within our QB class of their whole section, QB, so it's QB and then the I's to target it, so it's QB and then I. And what do we want to do to it? Well, I want to give it a background color. I'll give it that same gray, which is #444. And you can see it's got it there behind it, but I need to make it a little bit wider, and I need to make it round. So let's do that. I may have to give it a fixed width. So let's try giving it a width of, we'll try 60 pixels. Yeah, that's fine. That gives it a bit of space. And we'll do the same for the height. It's fine, but it's kind of popped it at the top. So let's give it a bit of padding on the top. We'll try 10 pixels. That'll probably be too much. Oh yeah, that's way too much. So let's select this and roll it down with my mouse until we get somewhere where I want to be. 5 pixels looks about right. That looks pretty even. It looks fairly central there. Now you could leave it like that, but I'm going to give it a round border so it just looks like it's got a thick border on it. So to do that, I'm just going to say border radius 50%, which will make that completely round. There we go. I think that's going to work. So let's copy this over. Now remember, we need to target our section, which was QB for questions on the bottom, QB and then I, and that's where we need to put this. So let's copy this. Control C to copy. Back to our customizer. Let's go down. Now we need to target the QB section. It's class dot QB, and within that section we need to target the I, so it's I. Open and close some curly brackets and paste that code we just copied in there. Control V to paste. And it's put a little flag up there purely because I've got padding and I've got height and width attribute going, and it doesn't like that sometimes, but it works absolutely fine. So if you get that, don't worry about it. Okay, let's just publish that. And what I'll do is I'll refresh this page quickly because this is not the most up-to-date version that we've got going on here. There we go. Now we can see our thing here. Okay, so look-wise, that's pretty much got the look that I want. Now I need to actually hide it. So let's go into our additional CSS. And it's this actual section here, which is the QB. I'm going to get a negative margin on the bottom, which will pull it down. And I'm guessing by 1, 2, 3, 4. We'll try 450 pixels, but that may be too much. Or not enough. We'll see. Margin, bottom. Say 450 pixels. And I wanted to do negative 450, not positive 450. And I've done positive, so let's put a negative in front of there. There we go. Actually, that's just about right. That's just about exactly where I want that thing. But it doesn't look quite like it's in the middle to me, because that about us is in the middle. Let's move it across till it's in the middle. It's 41%. 39%. It's better. Let's find something that's in the middle. There we are. It's got to be pretty close. And also there's a tiny bit of our little section in there, so I need to pop it down just a little bit more. It's only a couple of pixels, so let's go 452. That should do it. Okay, let's publish that. Now that's great, but we can't see our little info box. How do we get it up? Well, that's easy. We just need to add another bit of CSS code, a hover version. So at the moment, the .qb is just sitting where it is. Now when you hover your mouse over it, so I'm going to put the class name .qb, no space, colon, and then no space, hover. It's important you don't put any spaces between these things. And with this, I'm going to write in there margin bottom 0. And that will actually, when we hover over it, pull it up to its default state, which is the bottom of the page. So let's publish this and let's take a look. There's just one more thing that I'm going to need to do. So let's go to our page. And update this. Let's get the inspector out of the way. There we go. Now when I hover over it, it pops up like that. But it's doing it kind of instantly. Let's go down to the bottom. And to me, that's just a bit abrupt. I mean, it's doing everything I want it to do, which is great, but it's just doing it too quickly. So let's add a little transition, the same that we did with this. So it actually sort of slides in, then slides out. It's not so bunk, there it is, gone. Bunk, there it is. Just a little more gentle. So let's go back to our customizer. And we need to add one more line of CSS on the QB here. I'm just going to say transition. And let's give it like 1/3 of a second. So we'll say 0.3 seconds. And that should do it. I'm going to publish. Now let's go see what we've got. And refresh. There we have it. That's a little more gradual. I like that a little bit better. Not too intrusive. Pop up, you read your info and it'll pop down. And it's sticky, so it'll stay there. I don't think that's in the middle now. I think it needs to go over a little bit. Let's just quickly do that. Kind of looks like it's in the middle here. But here it's not. So let's put it back to... I think it's like 41% was the one we had, so let's do that. That's better. That's pretty much in the middle right there. Good. So there you have it. There's how to do a little pop-up info box on Hover with the Elementor page builder plugin. And you can download Elementor. There's a free version and a pro version. You can download it from my affiliate link below this video. So I hope you found that useful and enjoyed it. If you have, please give it a thumbs up, share, comment and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Once again, this has been Jamie with System22 and webdesignandtechtips.com. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.